How's it going, guys? And welcome to another session of the Let's Talk Show by Interlingua. As usual, I am your host, Mike Reese, and today we will have a very interesting show because we will have both sides of the same coin, marriage life. One of our guests is actually married. The other one isn't, but I am omitting a very important part that will surprise you and will keep things very interesting. So stay tuned with us to see and find out how is a marriage life, or if may I add, an alternative married life. You will see. You will see. Also, be sure to comment in the section to participate and stay in tune with us. And remember that every week at 8 o'clock, we have a fresh new episode of the Let's Talk Show. Without further ado, let's introduce our guests. First of all, we have Poncho coming back to the Let's Talk Show. How are you, my friend?
Hey, Mike. Good to you.
I'm cool. I'm cool. Good to see you. And thank you so much for participating once more.
Definitely. Thank you for having me again.
No, like I said in the previous one, you're always welcome here. And which brings me to say to our audience that Poncho is actually the person who is married. He's one of our guests who is married. Yes. But marriage has been, a topic of conversation for a very long time. It has actually, come through some changes throughout different generations, throughout different decades. So let's just make a little build up, speak in general terms, and then I will focus on your particular situation. First, I want to know if in the past women didn't have a choice in marriage, they were basically the husband's possession. How would you feel if marriage were like this nowadays?
Well, myself, I wouldn't like it. I'm really into this. I don't know, the way of marriage, just making sure that even though you're gonna be part of a couple or a relationship, you're still yourself, and you still have things that you like and things that you want to do for yourself, not necessarily for your couple. So yeah, I wouldn't like that. I think that's not for me.
Now, well, it changed from being a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. Now there was commitment. What were what are the most drastic changes that you noticed once you got yourselves involved in a marriage relationship?
Well, before we got married, we were already living together. So we were already sharing space and kids. So we spent probably around a couple years living together. So after marriage, it didn't really change much, like the dynamics of our relationship. But even if we were still doing like the same things that we were doing before, it's kind of funny because it's not the same, right? Like even if, I don't know, just going out on a dinner as we used to every Friday or every weekend, it was like, well, you know what? This is our first dinner out as husband and wife. So even though it's the same thing that we were doing, is kind of a new experience, because at the end of the day, it's not. I don't know, like it's the same, but it's not the same.
I gotcha. While you were building your relationship from where it began to where it is now, what are the things that you would recommend someone to do based on your experience? And Are there things that, in retrospective, you think you could have done differently?
Definitely. Yeah,
All right.
I think one of the things that I've learned this new experience or this new process in my life is that yeah, often than not we have certain expectations for people. Like I was sometimes expecting my wife to do this and that, or to respond or react in a certain manner to certain things, like the way I acted, or just do things the way I would do them. And something I've learned is that if you want to build a strong relationship with someone, you have to be able to understand that they are their own and they're not going to respond or react the same way you will. And making sure that you're not building expectations around yourself or your partner, I think it's really important. That way, if I don't know, something happens, trouble happens, it's like any other relationship. It's two different worlds colliding, and at the end of the day, there's gonna be conflict at some point, whether it's the way you put out laundry, the way you do the dishes, the way you cook. Like it's gonna be different. So if you expect people to do things the way you've always do it or you've always done, those things you're gonna have trouble adjusting to that, and that's gonna cause a lot of friction in the relationship. So just be open minded, be able to take responsibility for your actions, and be willing to accept the other person's flaws because there's always gonna be.
Totally. Totally. And as a consequence of becoming a husband, parenthood also came along. How did you adapt? How did you manage to adapt to that situation, and what have you learned from it?
I guess it applies the same thing. Just being open minded, and you're trying to educate a human being the way you want. Like even though we have the same goals and we're going the same path, not always we have the same goals. The I don't know, the way the kids react, the way the kids do things and stuff. Like if they're not, I don't know, if they don't wash the dishes, or if they don't brush the teeth after eating a meal. Like we approach things differently, and sometimes that could cause some friction because she's like, oh, you should be, I don't know, you should speak more, or you should step on that and make sure that they don't cross that line, or the other way around. Like I tell her, you know what, you should
Okay.
spend a little more time with that. And as long as you have good communication and open communication between each other, and you say, you know what, this is the way I want to raise the kids, and this is like kind of the line I want to follow, you can all go along. And as long as you're both working together, the kids are going to do fine.
All right. Thank you so much for mentioning that. And related to parenthood, I actually have prepared something very special for the occasion, and it's a small test to see. Based on this test, we will see if you really relate to the results. So it's just a set of 5 questions with a multiple choice each. Just choose the one that you can relate the most, and we will see what comes in the end. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. Okay. Number one, at what time do your kids go to sleep? A, they don't have a schedule. B, really early. C, we all go to sleep at the same time. And D, they go to sleep after they finish their homework.
Um, I would say the closest one would be B.
Really early? All right. Number two. Okay. A friend of your kids invites them to a virtual party, like what we're doing right now. Do you let them log in? A, yeah. B, no. C, before you choose, you speak with the other kid's parents. And D, all right, but they have to do their chores and homework first.
Cheers. That's a combination between C and D, I would think, but I think C would be my.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Your kids start making a zine because you didn't buy them something they really wanted. What do? A, you ignore them. B, you buy the thing. C, you talk at them and you ground them. D, you ask them, why are they crying? Why are they doing this? And try to talk to them. What could it be for you?
Yeah, that would be C, definitely.
All right. One of your kids, all, to avoid favoritism, let's say both of them, they get the first place in their classroom. Option A, you feel very proud. Option B, you give them a prize. Option C, you congratulate them, but you remind them that that's their duty. And option D, you give them hugs and kisses.
I would say if I can only stay with one, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, be as Bravo.
All right. When they leave the nest, when they leave home, what are you going to do? A, you're going to be glad for them. B, no way they're getting out unless they have a stable job. C, you cry and you hope that they live nearby. And D, you will start doing the things that you wanted to do for a long time.
Yeah, that would be a D.
A D.
A D, definitely.
All right. So, according to this, and like I said, you can either agree with this or not. It's up to you. It says that you believe in dialogue and in listening because you think that is a key to establish a good relationship with your kids. However, you also believe in rules and putting them limits so they can develop a determined behavior of cooperation and independence. That was too technical, but what do you think?
No, I agree with that. At the end of the day, I think that a lot of people underestimate kids and their intelligence. Because a lot of people will say, "Well, yeah, I don't really talk to them or really, engage in conversations with them because they don't really understand." But they're really smart. They really understand and they're capable of understanding a lot and teach you as well. So, yeah, I'm all for communication, engaging in conversations with them, making sure that they understand that sometimes what they do, it's not like if they do a tantrum or if they're, I don't know, just get angry or frustrated because whatever.
Sure.
Just making sure that they know that they have, the open door so that they can come and talk to me and open up themselves. And at the end of the day, they understand that there are limits and there are consequences to their acts, whether are positives or negatives. Like if they do something good that they should be doing, I would encourage that by giving them a prize, but not all the time. Like, you don't want to teach them or let them think that every single time they do something they should do or something they should be doing good, like, I don't know, washing dishes or doing their bed, things like that, that they're going to get a prize all the time. Because at the end of the day, it's things that they need to be doing. But
Sure.
if it's for an extended period of time, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're, you know,
Poncho, thank you so much for taking your time to participate with us. This was a very good experience for me because I took notes myself about everything that you said. Eventually, the viewers will know why, but until then, you're always welcome. Like I said, and I remind you, you're always welcome in the Let's Talk show. All right?
appreciate it. All right.
Good to see you again. And for all of our viewers, stay tuned because we have one more guest who has a very particular situation. Well, that was interesting. Now, let's continue. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for continuing with us. Now, I've been talking to you about another guest, and here it is. Her particular situation is that she has built a family. She has built a home. However, legally, she is not married. How did she do it? How does she manage her everyday life? Well, we'll find out right now. So without further ado, let's bring out Daniela, or Danny for family and friends. How are you? Hey.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
I'm great. How are you, Danny?
I'm okay. Thanks for asking.
Oh, and glad to have you here once more.
Thank
Appreciate it. You know, over the pass of time, the way I see it, the importance of marriage has reduced in the lives of many people. However, there's still some kind of pressure on people about finding someone to spend the rest of their lives with, making a family, etc. How do you feel about this? Is it something that really needs to be shoved down our throats, or people should be more open-minded?
I think it depends on the community that you belong in or the type of culture that you relate to. Okay. I think nowadays it's very common to have lots of couples just that live together and that build up a family and they spend the rest of their lives together, but they're not married. I guess somehow it has to do with religion that is not as common or popular as it used to be. I think that is one of the aspects that we should consider. And another is that in most places it is not really necessary to show a paper or a proof of marriage to do things as a couple, Legally, though, there might be some paperwork that has to be done through their marriage certificate. But overall, I would say it totally depends on culture and the community that you belong to.
As I understand, you have. Can I call him your husband?
We call each other husband and wife. So
wonderful.
We refer to each other as husband and wife. We don't call each other hi husband or hi wife, but we refer to each other as husband and wife, even though we're really not that. Our kids keep pushing, because they know that in order to, I don't know where they learned this, okay, but they know that in order to to be a family, a couple should be married. So
Okay.
I don't know if it was school or where, but they have this idea that their parents are not really a family because we're not married, you know? So sometimes
Mm.
so when are you going to get married? So we
Now
usually
you're
say,
getting pressure from
no,
your
we
own
don't get married.
kids.
Or never. But yeah, I mean,
No.
it's not that they push, but they're curious, or I don't know. They got this information somewhere, and so they wonder why their parents are not legally married. I don't probably movies, you know. Also, the media has some influence on everybody basically, but on kids, I would say when they watch a movie or a series or whatever, and there is a wedding scene, well, they sort of wonder what's going on, right? So they ask questions. So when did you get married? Oh no, we didn't, and never will. And so, so they start asking questions, you know? But yeah, I guess because that's really what's going on.
All right. So, how would you describe your relationship, and what do you consider the things that sustain it?
I would consider it kind of like a roller coaster. You know, it has ups and downs. It's sometimes fun, sometimes scary, and sometimes you just want to get off. But you remain there. You know, I think it's part of growing up as a couple. I think agreeing and coming to an agreement, or sharing, or basically agreeing to disagree. You know, sometimes we don't really like or agree with each other, or each other's decisions, but we respect. I think that's a key point of a relationship, whatever it is, you know, couples or parents or whatever. I think respect. I respect what he does or doesn't do, and vice versa. You know, even though we are very different, we know that we have respect in common. We love each other. We accept each other as we are with our many defects, and we love each other for accepting the others, you know, mistakes, basically.
Sure.
So yeah, I would say it's it's quite an adventure. You keep learning, you keep getting to know each other day by day. You every day you kind of find out something new about the person that you didn't know. And so I guess that's what I would say about the relationship that we have.
Actually, I wanted to talk to you about that. How do you meet halfway? How do you find common ground between both of
Well,
you?
um, I have to say we met
Yeah.
each other at work. My job, he was actually my student, but we didn't date until he left. Okay, so because I'm a professional person, so I said, I'm sorry, I don't date students. So he decided to quit so he could date me, and that's how we met. That's how we met.
My
And
bro.
and then we started talking about, you know, our parents, music, movies. We have that in common, you know, entertainment. And
Okay.
yeah, and then I don't know, maybe the age difference between. No, let me rephrase that. How old
Okay.
our mothers were when they had us? They were
Oh,
both very young mothers. We were both born when our mothers were in their time,
yeah.
in their own time, when they were 19 years old. So we had that in common. Like, oh, my mom was very young. Oh, mine too. And so we shared some background, in common. So, as I said, background, we could say, or entertainment, we have that in common. And then differences is, I think my husband wants to change the world. And he wants to teach everybody the rules. And, well, it's kind of frustrating for him because here nobody follows the rules, And he gets very frustrated. And I'm more like, you should go with the flow. I mean, you're not going to change the world.
I knew it.
So, yeah, I like to go more with the flow. And he's more like, no, this is not the right way. We should talk about this. I'm like, no, man, just leave it alone. We're fine. We're doing okay. So, yeah, I think that's what we share in common. And some of the differences, of course.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. I know it was very personal information, but for the sake of the show, I appreciate it a lot.
Why?
And I prepare something to wrap things up. I prepare something fun to end the session. I did some sort of a test with our previous guest, and I have prepared one for you. Okay. So basically, Danny, what is your favorite planned for a Saturday night? Ordering food and have a marathon of watching series? Go out and party? Dinner at a special place? And date night for just you and him?
I will go with the first option.
All right. Number 2. What captivates you from a person? It's energy, goodwill, its physique, or its intelligence?
Yeah, I'll go with goodwill, willingness to do things.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the worst thing, in your opinion, about a relationship? Lack of commitment, lack of intimacy, deceit, and routine?
The first one, lack of commitment.
Lack of commitment it is. What is a gift that you would like to receive, let's say, in your birthday or in your anniversary?
Okay.
A fun trip, an opportunity to maybe learn something new, a night out for just you and him, or just a nice gift?
Well, it depends, Mike. It depends on whether it's birthday or our anniversary. If it's our anniversary, I'll go with the date for just me and him.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. What word do you think it defines you the most? Reflection, passion, action, or tenderness?
Oh, well, not the last one. Definitely not. No, not in a million years. I don't know. I'm between reflection and passion. I'm a very passionate person in work, in my hobbies, in general. I think I'm very passionate.
You strike me as a passionate person.
I am.
In your opinion, the most important aspect of a relationship: new experiences, commitment, intimacy, communication. I know all of them are important.
No,
What?
yeah, I know, but I would say the most to me is communication.
Communication.
Yeah.
With my partner, in your case, your husband, you would like to what? travel, fulfill your goals together. This option is scratched because it says having children, you already have them. And what about making a project together?
I think fulfilling goals together.
Alrighty. Apparently, one of the most important, like I said, you can agree or disagree. It's okay. Apparently, one thing that you consider important for you is that your life partner understands you, shows attention to you, and you are interested also in exteriorize your thoughts and feelings when the situation demands it. What do you think?
I think the first part is very accurate.
Okay.
Without calling myself toxic. And I do like to have attention, not all of the attention, but I do like to be listened to, you know?
Sure.
And
Totally understandable.
however, not always do I express my feelings or thoughts when I should. I usually let myself calm down if it's a situation that bothers me. I prefer to let myself calm down. I like to express my thoughts and feelings when I am calm, you know?
Okay.
I get upset quite easily. I'm very sensitive. I'm oversensitive, basically. So if you roll your eyes at me or if you raise your tone of voice very little, that will hurt my feelings.
Sure.
But I won't say anything until I'm like, get over it, Daniela. You know, I
Okay.
talk to myself and I let myself come down. And that's when I can share my thoughts or feelings. Otherwise, I can be very sarcastic or I can be very, I don't know. Yeah, ironic if I don't want to be sarcastic. And that usually leads to more argument or takes you to a solution. That's why I let myself cool down and say, no, I don't want to talk right now. When I'm feeling a little bit better, we can talk about it. Okay. But you will listen. So yeah, I'm very much like that.
I appreciate the fact that you let us know you a little more throughout these sessions. Unfortunately, our time is up. But
that's fun. It was fun.
Thank you so much for saying that. I always hope that you guys have fun, that the guests have fun. And like I said, every single time, you're welcome anytime you want in the Let's Talk Show. Thank you so much, Danny.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And for all of our viewers, that's it for today. Remember to tune in next week, Wednesday at 8 for more of the Let's Talk Show. Danny was with us. Poncho was with us. Eric Rios was in the controls. The second Poncho of this situation was in charge of editing. I am Mike. Goodbye and good night. Bye.